Bill Huseby is going to give us a presentation on why he joined the service and what he did during the service and all the other things that he may want to talk about. You're free to talk about whatever you want to.
We bought a lot here, and paid for that for a while. When it was time for us to retire, we sold the house we had, half of everything else we had, and came out here. Rented an apartment, or one of the, over on 105th. We rented a car there, or a house there. I don't even remember who the people were. But we were there for, it was 7 or 8 months for me to build a house and move in. And I did a lot of it by myself. But I had some major things that I could do if I wanted, but I didn't want to be out there for 2 years trying to put it all together. Why did we? Because we wanted to stay in an area that was country, because we had been in the Kent school district since we were 18 years old, which is where we met. And we ran together for a while, and then we both left school. What do you do when you leave school? You pass all your classes and stuff.
Graduate.
Yeah. And then I went to the service. She had no other place she really was interested in, and so she went in the Army. And then I get a call, or you read it when you get it.
Draft notice. Draft notice.
No, I'm talking about you. Well, I'm trying to keep it, never mind. Anyway, we wound up in 2 different places. I was in Vietnam and she was East Coast. And I got a letter from her once a month and we chatted. I don't know if I called her, I didn't call her.
Did Sue join before you did?
Yeah, probably. I had it around my neck, I just hadn't done the right thing to do.
So you were drafted? Did you get a draft notice?
Yes, I did. And I knew I didn't want to be in the Army, so I just went right to the Navy and took care of it. It took all about 30 minutes. And they had there's an air base that the Navy used on the north end of Lake Washington. I don't recall the
Sand
name.
Point.
Yes. That's where I went out and came back. Let's see, what else do we have here?
What did you do in the Navy?
They had me doing electronics, operating the gear, because that Super Connie was set up with weather machines underneath in the belly of that Connie, big, halfway round or part round. And then on top there was just a small up and down one. And that big one, we could see out 250 miles, so we put ourselves in the middle of us and them. I was probably 200 miles apart. And something I wanted to make sure was we had a MiG come out after us, and I was on duty. I was sitting at the machine watching everything that's going on all night long. And I see a little dot over here, and it comes right off of Hanoi. And I knew exactly what it was because it was at its speed. And I touched my button on my horn, and it didn't take me 5 seconds to let them know that there was one on the way. And I looked down, and there's 4 jets coming after them. And then it turned around and started to head back. And then these guys ran around, chatted with me for a little while, and I went back.
Where was that?
That was in Vietnam,
Vietnam.
yeah, and I was out flying around up in the northern end of the island, or Vietnam. Any other questions you got?
No, it
Oh,
just
Come
continue.
to-
One time you also talked about that you were chasing hurricanes or.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing we had to do. I had a term for it. And we'd go out and head towards it. We'd have to pick a specific time. So when we got there, it was in tune with the rest of the idiots on the list and going on. And we flew through the eye of a typhoon one night that was 175 knots. We weren't supposed to be there, but we had, we'd go in and get the information and climb up so we could get out of the inside, then go on out and hang around out there until we got the time to go back in 6 hours later. When we went in, it was 80 knots, which is only like 5 knots over where we're supposed to cut it off. And we did our thing and turned around and came back and hung around out there for a while. And finally headed for it. By the time we got into the storm, all of a sudden the storm itself was a lot faster than we had to live with earlier. And the weather guys started doing all that. It took all 5 minutes. They found out that it was going to hit somewhere between 150 and 200 knots. We can't take it. And the skipper gets on the phone and says, well, we just took it. We can't get out. And so we went probably 13,000 feet to get up high enough so we could get out of it, where it's not quite so strong. And those airplanes will cruise at not that far, 750 knots, maybe. That was it, or less than that. And it was all we could do, just get in sideways without getting pulled in, or it was serious business that night. We lucked out, and made it. Vietnam, we spent a lot of time when we were there, or when we weren't, I should say. We probably had 40% of our time we don't have. We didn't have to do anything. And they've got us out in the middle of the Pacific, and we're too far away from Guam to catch up for at least 2 days, of course. And I've been in, I just all shut off. All the other islands out and around, and I used to know them like I too.
Where were you based?
Well, it was based in Guam.
Oh, you were based in
Yeah.
Guam.
And we were flying to places where they wanted us to be, and we were always several hundred miles away or more, 300-400.
Is that where you
Guam
always?
was, yeah.
Is
Guam.
that where you always landed, or were there other places you would land?
There was other places. Japan, there's one. Okinawa, that's another one. I wanted to go to. It's China, but we were on the islands. There's a big island there that's
Taiwan?
yeah, that's democratic. That's the way they ran the place.
Mm-hmm.
China's not. I don't know what they do now, but back then it was the kings who were running the place. But we'd go in and out of the island, Taiwan, but they wanted to go to one other place that was hanging on the edge of Japan or China. No, that's not right. Yeah, China, because that's what's on the backside of would be probably the west side of where we come and go all the time. We couldn't go there at a particular time. All the officers went, and the rest of us just hung back, stayed in the place where they left for us, just so we could stay alive until they come to get us. In the Philippines is where we came and went a lot, and that was right out of on the beach of had that too. It's a big bay, and on the pinnacles. No. I can't remember the name of the country. We went one time to Hawaii. One of the universities there wanted us to collect some information for them, and we lucked out. I think our officers were flipping the coin to see who gets to go and who doesn't. Our squad went, and we were there for 6 days, I think. And there was 5 of us that did what I did, and we flipped a coin to see who gets to go when, and I got to go last. So I made sure everybody we had a jeepney to run around with, and all that kind of stuff. That was a good time. And southern Philippines, Hanoi. No, it's all right. We took a trip once. We had a lot of time off that time. Probably a week before we had to go do anything or go anywhere. And on the southern island of the Philippines, there was lots of things there that the Philippines had gotten when the Japanese left in World War II. And we spent there about 3 days, and it was they had it all set up like an encampment that the Japanese had to do, or did. I mean, it was their way to get away from the war. And we did all kinds of crazy things. One of them was getting on a boat, go up the river, and then you get to a point where you're running into a big slab. That's what it looks like when you're back a ways, but it's the stone thing that was straight up, flat up above, probably 300-400 feet, and we could come into a little where all that water flies down or drops down, and that was a real big deal. And the water was coming right out of a round tube at the top of there.
Were there any memorable people, somebody
On my squad?
that you met, or your squad, or anywhere, you know? Did you see
No, not really.
some big admiral come in, or?
He was going to. Then that was we all had everything shined up right, you know. And we sat in the barracks where we were supposed to hand up when they show up. But we were around in there for 2 hours or so, and finally the captain says, calls the horn and says, "You guys take your clothes off now. We're going back to what we do for a living because the admiral's not coming." So, and I know on Guam, if you go look at a map and pictures of what's there now, it's all condos and hotels and all that kind of stuff. When we were there in we had a place where we flew in and out of right there. It was right in the middle of the island, and we came and went from there a lot.
What year roughly was that?
Hmm?
What year approximately was that? Do you remember?
I was active duty there, let's see, I'm 68 is when I went home. So it'd be 66 to 68.
Where was active duty?
And that was my stint. And then the first month, 2, 3 months were waiting for orders in San Francisco. I was there for a month. And then we had to get there. And they didn't know what to do with me. And I didn't go to what I was doing for them. I couldn't do much other than run the gear because they never sent me to a school because I'd have to have more than 2 hours or 2 years of active duty before they would spend the money to do that. They had no idea what to do with me, except they got me to Guam and ran me through some guys. I ran with electronic guys all the time. And we ran all the gear, and we had weather guys there that went on with us.
Where did you go through basic training?
In in Seattle,
No.
yeah, the barracks or the buildings that were there for that.
At Sandpoint?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and that was fun actually, doing it there, and I remember that when I was in high school, I was a gymnast and one other thing, tennis. And being a gymnast, you have to get yourself strong and all that kind of stuff. I could pick up 300 pounds. I could do 250 pounds with up and down, those kinds of things. Anyway, I was real strong, and the guys that were in there with me, we started running together. There was about 4 or 5 of us, and they were watching out for me all the time. And they liked the fact that I was strong anyway, but I never got into any big competition. And then, so I was doing well, and one night when we got ready to go to our duty stations, we had one thing that we hadn't done yet was run a mile. And I was born and raised by men that are people that my mom and dad and aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff. Smokers, all of them, lots. And I lived in that stuff. I had to go run with those guys. I couldn't go 100 yards. And they both, all 6 of them got up next to me and take their turns pulling along with me, getting me this, don't sit down, don't sit down, don't sit down. And I finally got to the end of it. That was one of the biggest deals I ever did in my life that I thought was not easy.
Did it get better?
Oh yeah, it got a lot better. When they got me out on the island, Skipper sat down with me and a couple of the electricians, and they talked it over about what I could do for them. They thought the best thing I could do was run the machines. They set me up with that and taught me how to do it, and I was just like the other 4 that I was with, and we took our turns. And that was quite a deal. Flying through storms, not a big deal for most of it, but when you get over 100 knots for a Connie, because of its size and skinny, it really wasn't powerful. We locked down a couple of times. My service duties, we already got that. That's the other thing I didn't have to do, because I was flying, when they decided to grab a hold of me and run them on place. When I first got to Guam, usually you go to your first duty station as a grunt, and you go 3 months in the kitchen and 3 months in the office before they let you go into that. And then they put me out there and they give me to the guy that was running the office. Give me a place to sit, because he wanted me really bad, because at school I learned how to type. And I could type 80 minutes,
Words per minute.
yeah. And he says, "Can you really do that?" I said, "Sure." And I liked it. I was fun.
That's good.
"Oh, it is," he says. He gives me he's supposed to write down there, type that. So I just put it over there. And he grabbed on my arm and he said, "That's enough." Off we went, and he put me on where I sat, and everybody came and went. On the island, it's Guam, it was real different. Most of the people lived down on the beaches. There was some people living in houses that were built one at a time, and there was never any big buildings and large. And we went around the island once to see what that was all about and all it was like. And it got to us to the north end, and the Air Force was up there. And we got on base and messed around. And they're big, six engine. I can't remember the name of the plane.
Was it a jet engine or a propeller?
No, they were jets.
Jets?
Yeah.
B-52s?
Hmm?
B-52?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just outside of where they were running back and forth, and somebody was saying to me, "They're coming to get us. You want to stay long or you want to go, Bill? Come on, Huseby, let's go." And so we took off. The Air Force security, I think, was after us, but when they saw us gone already, they just didn't come back. Where, my duty is all over the Pacific. I'd have to say that way too, because I've been to Hanoi, or no, not that place.
He's running out, right?
Family support. When I was in service, well, actually, my parents were great people. But I wasn't a real a-hole either, so that made a big difference. My dad was real, not stern, but he's a guy you say, "Yes, sir," you don't say a whole lot more, and you just feel like you better do that, you're not,
Did you and Sue get married after you came back then?
Yeah. And that's another story.
Maybe she can talk about that.
Yeah, I'll give her that chance.
Appreciate you sitting down and giving us the information, and we're recording it, and we'll give you a copy when we've got it all put
Okay.
together.
Okay, I'd like to have it.
Sure. Thank you for doing
Yeah.
this.
You bet.